Well, a couple of things have happened since we last spoke to you, and we spoke to one of those signings in Brendan Daniels the other day. But two more players in, Brendan Daniels and Luke Joyce. Happy with that, and pleased to have them with you.
Yeah, always happy to obviously bring some new signings to the club, and I'm always happier if those signings do well on the pitch, which is all anybody's interested in. But the two different ends of the spectrum in terms of one being experienced and, you know, played against us recently for Carlisle and played well, and the other one being a player who I've obviously seen in non-league football, and basically somebody who's got talent, but we're giving him a chance, and it's up to him to take it. So, you know, it's up to the lad then to grab it, and you know, but we hope he can do well.
It's a good sort of scenario, that, isn't it? You know, you've got one with experience, and then you're going to have one that's hopefully hungry. But I'm sure the experienced one is still hungry as well. You would have done all your homework on him.
Yeah, he came across very well in the fact that I know he could have gone elsewhere. He could have dropped down as well and earned more money. But he wants to continue playing as high as he can, and also I think he's got a desire to try and play a number of games, which he'll need to play a few more years to reach that target. And very keen to continue. And as I say, he's you know, a good footballer, and I believe he can do well.
You're talking about the number of games he's closing in. I think it's over 500 games he's got under his belt already. So he's obviously, he keeps himself well. He's in good nick.
Yeah, I mean, Carlisle, you know, whatever sort of season they had, if you look through the players they've got, they had competition in midfield, and I think that was important that he was a player that got picked every week, because you weren't just picking from one or two players in their squad. He had competition, and he was always somebody who got picked, which shows that you know, he held his own. And you're not always going to get, but ideally you want to bring in players who are playing regularly, and it's normally a good sign that they can, you know, put in a number of games for you.
What's your message been to Brendan Daniels when you spoke to him then?
Well, with Brendan it's totally different, because I'd seen him play, obviously, living in Yorkshire. When he was at Harrogate, when he had a really good season, he scored 20 odd goals. There's always, I think, you know, some players, there's always a question mark of what people can and can't do. I know that he can. I'm concentrating on the things that he can do, of which he's, you know, has really good delivery from wide areas, dead balls. He takes really good free kick and corner kicks, and has good deliveries. So he's got a lot of good attributes, which I believe can, if you can produce that lower down, he can still produce it higher up. But with any player, he's now at an age where the penny has to drop, and he's got to dedicate himself totally to being a professional footballer, because there isn't going to be another chance that comes along for him. And I'm certainly prepared to give him the chance, and then it's up to him then to take it.
How are you putting your jigsaw together if the pieces are falling in? You've got your goalkeeper done, you've got a centre midfield player done. I think you're closing in on a central defender. Is that just something that's just happened, or did you sort of target down the spine of the team first of all?
No, we needed to strengthen. We need to strengthen down the spine of the team. So we now obviously, you know, going to sign a centre half. So that's important. I will be bringing in another midfield player, and then obviously we all know we need strikers. So it is all down the centre of the team, and you know, I think it's always the most difficult part for any team is to sign strikers, because everybody wants a striker and a goal scorer, and they're very hard to get and always in demand. So that's probably going to take longer, but I know we must get some strikers into the club. Otherwise, you know, we won't have a successful season.
But looking at those lists and those targets you've got, is there enough availability, fingers crossed, that you can clinch that type of deal, that type of player to the Vale?
I just think we have to. Whichever way we do it and whatever happens, we must sign somebody who can score some goals, because we can't go into the season just with Tom Pope, and I'll be very disappointed if we don't. If we were going into the season without any more goal scorers.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fair on your staff, the fans, and the rest of the squad, because you know exactly what's required.
Look, I know that regardless of who else we bring into the squad, we must get a couple of people a couple of forwards into the squad, and we will be working hard to do that over the next few weeks, of which we're working hard at the moment. But we must be going into the season with, I would say, people who have played at this level, and also then I'm prepared to then, you know, maybe take a couple of loan players, but ideally you want to have your own players in. But we certainly will need a couple of loan players who are forwards as well, because you can't go into the season and not have any goal scorers in your squad.
I suppose the one thing that's happened with the rules changing then with the loan players, where sometimes you might have to wait a month into the season and play 5 or 6 games and you still not got your squad settled. That's going to help, I suppose, this time around, because you've got to get them before kick-off time.
Yeah, we want them in early, because I feel if you're going to integrate players, you want them in for pre-season and you want them training and everybody working together as a group. So it is important, but like I said, we're trying to strengthen in several areas, but I won't be happy until, you know, we end up with a couple of strikers at the club.
One name that's coming out from the Vale fans is Louis Dodds. He seems like he comes around every time he's getting a move or looking wherever he might be. Nothing with that or anything with that?
No, it's true. We inquired about him in January, but at this moment I've got other targets and I'll be pursuing other targets, and then we'll see where we get with them.